Hello and welcome to this gentle yoga flow for mental health awareness. My name is Taylor and I will be guiding your practice. So we will start together in a comfortable seat facing the front. So easy seated posture, ankles can be crossed in front. Feel the sits bones grounded. Hands can gently be rested on your knees or thighs. Sitting up tall with a long spine. Softening in the shoulders, soften in the face, in the throat and jaw, soften in the space around the eyes. And we'll enjoy a few moments of slowing down here, finding stillness and quiet. This posture starts to open our hips, and it encourages us to sit up with a long, healthy spine. So think tailbone, crown of head moving in opposite directions. It also helps calm the mind, helping us to become aware of and recognize what's going on inside, what's happening in the mind and the body. Allow it to be just as it is without judgment, honoring that acceptance. As we come to our mats, we investigate our inner experiences with kindness. And we practice detaching from stories that we tell ourselves, detaching from any emotions or thoughts you may have brought with you to your mat. Letting all of that go, let go of the negative self-talk we get caught up and wrapped up in. Try to let all of that go and just be. Eyes can stay closed, or you can start to open them. We'll start to roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Rotate the shoulders in the opposite direction. Come back up through center. For some gentle neck circles, right ear drops to right shoulder, chin to chest, rotating head and neck opposite direction, and only if it feels okay, head drops back, opening up the throat. Move it around in that slow circle one more time. And moving in those neck circles, opposite direction, give yourself permission to pause in any area that might need a little extra stretch or attention. Bring the head back up through center. Start to open your eyes. If they are still closed, we're moving into a side body stretch. Plant the right hand down next to you. Inhale to reach the left arm up and over. Sits bones are still grounded equally into the mat. Back up through center for a twist. So bring that right hand across you to the opposite knee. Inhale, sit up tall, find that long spine again, and exhale, twisting in the spine. Maybe look over that back shoulder. Come back through center and we'll just switch. So plant the left hand down, inhale, reach up and over for that side body stretch. Come back up through center for our twist to the right. So hand to opposite knee across you and find that spinal twist. Come back through center. And we're moving into child's pose. So you can start to crawl your way forward through hands and knees. And then start to sit the hips back to the heels. Toes come to touch. And melting forehead and chest towards the mat. So this is our resting pose. This posture also helps to quiet the mind. Try to get that forehead grounded towards the mat. This is also a really great hip opener, starting to get a stretch in our glutes. Maintaining that length and space in the spine. Start to come up through tabletop hands and knees position. And starting to move through rounds of cats and cows. Inhale, belly drops, open the chest, gaze up for cow pose. Exhale, hands press into the mat, round through the spine for cat pose. Keep going just like that. Move through cats and cows with your breath at your own pace. This warms the spine, massages through the spine, stretching out through our low back. Cats and cows also stimulates our internal organs, encouraging emotional balance. After your next round, moving into a modified plank position. So walk your hands forward about a hand's length and shift forward a little bit, shoulders over wrists. Draw the shoulder blades together, elbows tuck into the sides, and lower all the way to the belly, nice and slow. For one back bend here, cobra pose. Hands stay just as they are under the shoulders. Start to lift up to broaden through the chest and heart space. And bring the forehead back down to the mat. Tabletop again, pressing back up to hands and knees. Moving into our first downward facing dog. Pressing off equally of hands and feet. You can start to pedal out the feet here, bending one knee, melting the opposite heel to the mat. And switching. So downward facing dog is a posture known to reduce anxiety. It is strengthening in our arms and shoulders. Stretching out through our hamstrings and calves along the back of the legs. Finding stillness in your down dog if you haven't done so already. And we're meeting in a forward fold top of the mat. So you can tiptoe or step your way to the top, feet meet hands. Move nice and slow. And hanging out here in a forward fold for a few rounds of breath. Hands can stay grounded towards the mat. Maybe you find ragdoll arms grabbing towards opposite elbows. And forward folds like this are more lunar in nature. They're more restorative for the body. We're moving into gravity versus working against gravity. Start to breathe in and out of your nose, finding Ujjayi yogic breath. And maybe while we're here, encourage a longer exhale than the length of your inhales. Palms back down to the earth if they're not there already. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, refold. And we'll rise to stand, reach up, rise up, meeting in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take your time to get there. And preparing for a standing balance, eagle pose. Start to take a bend in both knees. We're standing on the left leg. Wrap the right leg up and over. Option to add eagle arms. The right arm will wrap underneath the left. Give yourself a big hug. You can stay there, hands on shoulders, or you can cross at the wrist, palms touch. So we're sinking into the legs and the hips, getting that deep cross in the legs and the arms, squeezing everything into center, into the midline. Balancing postures improve our focus and concentration. Unwinding arms and legs, reach up overhead. Coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Pause in between sides, reset, regroup. And when you're ready, switching sides for eagle pose, standing on the right leg this time. So bend in both knees. Left leg wraps up and over. If you want to add the arms, the left arm will come underneath the right. You can stay hugging your shoulders or cross at the wrist, palms touch for full eagle arms. This is a great shoulder release. Stretch in the shoulders if you are adding the arms. Finding that balance. Inner thighs squeezing together. Unwinding arms and legs, reach up. And come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So meeting in Tadasana, mountain pose, top of the mat. Next inhale, reach up, arms overhead. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen the spine. Hands can come to shins. Exhale, palm the mat. Soft bend in the knees and lunge the right toes to the back of your mat. Spin onto that back heel. For warrior one, keep a bend in the front knee and arms sweep up. So legs are strong here, feet pressing into the mat, squaring off our hip points and shoulders to the front of the mat. Feeling strong in the legs, while we find ease and softness in the upper body and the arms lifted overhead. Palming the mat and step back up to the top, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palm the mat and lunge the left toes to the back of the mat for warrior one. Just switching sides. Get your strong foundation, stability in the legs set up, and then the upper body rises. Feeling strong. This is a warrior pose. Feeling empowered, finding that focus in the mind. This pose can also reduce anxiety. Finding that balance of work and release in the body. Palming the mat, hands back down, and we'll take a quarter turn on our mat. So walk with your hands, stay low to face the long side of your mat. All 10 toes face the long side of your mat, and we'll take a wide-legged fold through center. Prasarita, Padottanasana A. Walking hands back to be in line with your feet. Legs can be straight. You can keep a soft bend in your knees. Really whatever feels better for you in your body today, honoring that. Honoring where you are today, again, without judgment. Halfway lift up through center. Walk with your hands back towards the top of your mat and step back to plank pose, top of a push-up. Scoop out the low belly, find that core strength. We'll come onto hands and knees, tabletop, to sit back for Virasana, hero's pose. So encourage those knees close together or touching, separate the feet apart, and hips come to sit to the inside of your heels. We're trying to rest on the tops of our feet behind us, toes pointed straight back. You can grab a pillow, blanket, or yoga block to sit the hips up on. Reach the arms out wide. For Gomukhasana arms, Right arm's going to come from the top, left arm from the bottom. Taking a bend in the elbows, that bottom arm can just rest along your low back. Pressing the back of the head into that top forearm. Releasing the arms to just switch sides for Gomukhasana. The left thumb stays up. Rotate the right thumb down to the mat. Get that shoulder rotation. And then left arm from the top, right arm from the bottom. Find your version of Gomukhasana arms. If staying in these Virasana legs are ever painful or too uncomfortable, always feel free to come out of them to a normal kneeling position with hips on heels. Coming out of this, release the arms, crawl back forward through tabletop. Extend one set of toes to the back of your mat, pulse into that heel a few times, getting blood flow back into the legs, getting a stretch into the calf and switch sides. And we're going to make our way down to a seat. So you can swing legs off to one side or the other, come onto your bottom and swing the legs forward. We're moving into deer pose. Start to sit over towards the right hip. Swing that left leg back behind you. There can be a big bend in that left knee. We're encouraging that right shin parallel to the top of the mat and flex that right foot. Once the legs are where you want them, start to crawl your way forward and fold a little or a lot. It's really nice here if you can get the forehead to rest on something, be grounded on something. Maybe you hold the forehead into your hands, elbows on the mat if you're able to fold deeper. Stacking palms for the forehead. Maybe again using a blanket or pillow. Settling in here, notice any tension you're holding onto in the body. Notice how the low belly is. The hips, if you're using a lot of effort in your arms and shoulders, try to let that go. And rolling up through the spine here, head comes up last. Sit up nice and slow, take your time. And swing those legs forward. Maybe rock it out, side to side. And just switching, so sitting over towards the left hip, right leg back behind you, left shin parallel to the top of the mat. Take time to get your legs set up. Then folding forward a little or a lot, find that place for your forehead to rest on this side. Notice sides may feel different. That's totally perfect and normal. Come back to your breath here, breathing in and out of the nose. Try to have shorter inhales and longer exhales. Longer exhales like that calms the nervous system, helps ease anxiety and stress. And starting to slowly roll back up to a seat here. Head comes up last. Take your time. And swing both legs forward. We're moving into Janu Shirshasana. Right leg stays long and straight. Take a bend in that left knee. Bottom of the left foot is to the inner right thigh, encouraging that knee open and out to the side. Twist the center of your chest over towards that right straight leg and start to fold forward a little or a lot, reaching towards that right foot. And And start to come back up to a seated position here. And simply switching sides, the left leg will remain straight. Taking a bend in the right knee, right foot rest on the inner left thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Twist center of chest over towards that straight left leg. And when you're ready, folding forward. Try to let go of any tension in the head and neck. Giving into gravity here. And slowly start to make your way back up to a seat. Meeting in an easy seated posture like we did at the beginning for Nadi Shodhana, Dragon's Breath, for some pranayama breath work. So pointer finger, middle finger up to your forehead space in between the eyebrows. Use your thumb knuckle to close off your right nostril. Inhale through the left side. Seal off the left nostril, open the right, and exhale it out. Deep inhale through the right side, close it off with your thumb, open the left nostril, exhale it out. Deep inhale through the left, seal it off, open the right, and exhale. Inhale through right, close it off, open the left, and exhale out. Inhale through left, seal it, open right, exhale. Inhale through right, seal it, open left, exhale. Keep going just like that. Finding that regulation and control of breath. This breathing technique and pranayama helps balance energy in the body. Keep going, and the next time you exhale through the left side, release the hand back down to your legs. Eyes can be closed. Easy, free-flowing rounds of breath in and out. And we'll start to make our way to a reclined position. So just slowly lowering down onto your spine. Setting up for one bridge pose, a symmetrical back bend, heels close to hips, knees bent up to the ceiling, and on a big inhale, lifting up here. Strengthening through the back line of the body, opening up and lengthening through the front. Back bends reduce fatigue, reduce insomnia. Back bends are very energetically energizing for the body, giving you more energy moving into the rest of your day. Lowering hips back down to the mat for Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come to touch, bent knees fall apart. Bring one hand to your low belly, one hand to your heart or chest. Feel the breath begin to slow down here. Notice the rise and fall of your chest and belly as you breathe in and out. And start to bring those knees back together, moving into an inversion. So, yogi's choice. I will cue waterfall or modified legs up the wall if you prefer any other inversion to end your practice. You can certainly take it. Waterfall or modified legs up the wall, hips stay grounded, hips, knees, ankles all in line. Close your eyes. Never hold your breath. Hips are grounded and heavy, while at the same time finding lightness in the legs that are lifted. And slowly, from wherever you are, start to lower the feet back down to the mat. Full body stretch, reach arms overhead, point the toes, and hug it all in. Give yourself a big squeeze. For a supine spinal twist, let the knees fall over to the right, gaze to the left. Twists are very cleansing and detoxifying for the body. Bring those legs back up through center and simply switching sides for our spinal twist, moving there slowly when you are ready. And bring those legs back up through center. Taking any last movements that you might want or be craving before we settle in for our final rest in Shavasana. When you are ready, take your time lengthening out long on the mat, taking up as much space as you can. Feet flop out to the sides, palms up to the ceiling. Close the eyes, finding total relaxation of body and mind here. Shavasana is a state of deep rest, lowering the blood pressure, slowing down the breath. Just as we did at the beginning, recognize how you feel in this moment in the mind and body, and allow it to just be as it is, without judgment. Let the mind drift and take rest. Shavasana. If your mind has wandered, bring it back. Starting to bring awareness back into your breath. Finding those easy, free-flowing inhales and exhales once again. And letting that breath invite small movements back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. If a full body stretch would feel nice, you can reach arms overhead, maybe hugging knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. rolling off to your favorite side just to lay for a moment. And pressing yourself back up to an easy seated position facing the front, keeping eyes closed or gazing softly down. Bringing hands to heart center. It was my honor to guide you through your practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Bring thumb knuckles up to our third eye, and we bow together in gratitude for time on our mats and for each other. Namaste.